This is the OSU Roundup and joined by Cowboy head coach Mike Gundy. Last weekend, a 26-13 victory over Kansas State. One thing that you talked about as soon as the bowl game was over last year is having your team become a more physical, more disciplined football team. Focusing on the physicality of it because that was a big part of your win over Kansas State. What things do you feel like were most important in implementing that mindset in your football team?
The way we practiced. We all like to talk and try to instill information in players, but for me, the only way that we can get results is repetition. And we started that way in August, and we've talked about it, and we've tried to keep our thumb on them every rep, every period during practice to make sure they're doing all the little things to improve our physicality, make us a tougher football team. And we've got a ways to go, but I'm convinced that we're a tougher football team now than we were after the bowl game.
The offensive line, because of injury, you had to do some shuffling. You had a tackle starting and playing for the first time ever at Oklahoma State. You moved Johnny Wilson over to guard. Bryce Schneider started at center. Bryce Bray moved to guard. What did Charlie Dickey do, and what things did he do to prepare for that moment? Invariably, it's going to happen. What things maybe are unique to him that helped him get those guys ready for that moment?
We shuffled some linemen around in August for the first 15 practices or so before he settled in on what he felt like was the best 5 for our offense. That had to help some, but the truth be known, we were all nervous when you move 4 guys, and particularly the center. It's not as easy. As the game went on, they got better. That's what happens with those 5 guys. There's a lot of continuity and chemistry that values their success. So we rushed the ball good in the fourth quarter and allowed us to win the game, and I was excited about how well they played in the second half. After a little bit of a shaky start, but I don't know that anybody would have not expected that from guys that haven't played at all, or some guys that haven't played those particular positions.
Yeah, the end result was 373 rushing yards.
Yeah, Chuba obviously is a huge factor in that success, but in the fourth quarter, we covered guys up and blocked them really well. Kansas State wanted to blitz a lot. They got out of their gaps at times. Safeties took bad angles based on the blitz concept, and once Chuba gets in the open space, in most cases it's going to be difficult to catch him.
Jim Knowles made the comment to us last week that preparing for a team like Kansas State that uses the I formation for this generation is about like getting ready for the wishbone. They have no reference point whatsoever, so it's quite different. Number one, what were some of the complications of getting ready, and how satisfied were you with the job the defense did? K-State with less than 250 yards offense.
We were really excited about our defense, and we don't see a lot of games in our conference, particularly over the last 5 or 6 years, where the defense controls the other team. You just don't see it much at any school in this league. And we really had a good grasp of their offense throughout the game. Early in the third quarter, when Spencer wasn't playing real well, defense will go out and stop him or hold him to a field goal. And that's really what determined the game. That and our kick coverage was excellent. It's the best that we've been against them special teams-wise in my 15 years.
And maybe the hidden benefit you have to dig around in the box score to find, your defense was only out there for 55 plays. That will reap benefits come November, will it not?
Oh, yeah. You know, we play a lot of games where it's 90 plays, so that would be almost double what the number of times our defense was on the field. And the twos were in there some. Most of our starters were in the low 40s, which is a nice break for us based on 2 full months of football. We haven't had a break, and we started in August, and we're going to be done here with September in a few days.
That's Coach Gundy. Join us later in the week when we break down the matchup with Texas Tech.